Give me your heart, make it real, or let's forget about it. You know how like some little piece of a song sticks in your head and you're like, yeah. I was like that just now. I was like, yeah, give me your heart, make it real, or just forget about it. But so good today. So today is supposed to be the day that I had my book club meeting, but last week I moved it, and so now it's a few weeks away from now, which in a way is good because now I can kind of put it out into the world a little bit bigger, a little bit more people to come to the meeting, which is good stuff. The book we're reading is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a which I've talked about a couple times. Today I had this epiphany upon waking that the subtle art of not giving a... It actually, in the title, it has F*CK. So I'm technically saying it correctly. Right? But the subtle art of not giving a is actually the only way to be well. And I've talked about this before, but it's worth talking about again. Because as I was typing, I was like, literally, wellness is, right? We decide what to let go and what we want to let live, right? So when we have to let go of something, these are the things that, all the reasons why people you look around, a lot of people will never be well, right? Because they're like still following like the food pyramid or something like that. They gotta let it go. And if they don't, then you're just never gonna be well. There's so many things that we have to let go or we're just not gonna be well. That's why the subtle art of not giving a is really about figuring out what to not give a F about and what you want to give a F about, and then only giving a F about the stuff that actually is worthy of giving a F about, right? So a lot of times we get suckered into giving a F about how food tastes instead of like eating the food that makes us feel good, gives us the most energy so we can utilize the most amount of life force and live our highest potential. Like, we don't think of it that way. And even saying that, if I were to say something like that, as true as it is, if I were to say something like that, people would be like, what? That's just so over the top. But all right, maybe it is a little bit over the top, but here's the deal. Like, life is kind of amazing, and you have to kind of get out of knowing that life is amazing in order to follow something like the food pyramid. So life is really quite magical. Because I also had the epiphany today that I just really want to focus on that, like the everyday magic of things. And so I'm like, that sounds like a podcast name, or I really want to do something with Marla that allows us to stay out of the boring stuff that nobody really wants to give a F about, but that we always learn to give a F about, that really causes us to forget how magical life is. I just want something that can allow us to focus on the everyday magic together, as well as her obvious psychic abilities and her shamanism that society labels as schizophrenia. Like, utilizing those things and utilizing everyday magic to actually have something fun to create together. Which I think if more people had something fun to create, then they would be healthier. If they knew what to give a fuck about instead of giving a fuck about stuff that doesn't actually help us to live better lives or give more of our truth and ourselves and our authenticity and the gifts that we were born with into our lives. Like, if we had more of that, then so many things would be just, maybe there would be less schizophrenia labels and more shamanism labels that would allow people to rise to the top instead of be squashed to the bottom. Because that is the perfect example of that, which I made a video about that because I kind of had this strange realization where I was like, wait, if someone has schizophrenia, then they're literally like the scum of the earth in our society, versus in another culture they would be considered a shaman, which is the like advisor, like the top, the cream of the crop of the culture. So and a lot of times I feel like the people who have mental illness in our society are really just too smart to be suckered into just becoming a drone. And I've been a drone for so many, plenty of times. I mean, there were times today when I was actually a drone, so I can say that lovingly without, pointing a finger, because I'd be pointing a finger at myself. If we're all honest, I think we all have these times where we can realize that we have times of uber awareness where we're like kicking ourselves, like, holy crap, I don't want to fall asleep. But then the next minute we're falling asleep again. So I'm just honestly calling, shining a light on that. But yes, I just want something that's going to help both of us be more awake to the magic of life and to give a fuck about the things that are more magical and allow us to live into our highest expression. And I really want that for a lot of people, actually. So it'll be a really fun way of doing that and then allowing her to get better. She cares a lot more about wellness, which means, hey, she can also care more about the art, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Because it is subtle, right? It's so subtle to remember, like, hey, it actually doesn't matter what other people think. We have no control over that. It doesn't matter what happens next. We have no control over that. We only can go with, what feels the most truthful. We can only go with what is channeled, authentically. All right, I'm hopping off. Give me your heart, make it real, or let's forget about it.